Hello, welcome to episode 143 of Bible Bedtime. I am your host, Dana, and in each Bible Bedtime episode, I read a full chapter of the Bible. And I do it in a quiet voice that is designed to help you relax and fall asleep. If you would be so kind, I would appreciate if you would go on iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts and give Bible Bedtime a review and a rating. Both are important, and I read every single review, and I appreciate it so much. As has been my habit this season, I have been focusing on places around the world where Bible Bedtime is heard. And in the past, I had highlighted cities or nations where people were listening to Bible Bedtime. A few episodes ago, I, for some reason, was led to flip that around. And instead of mentioning places where we have a lot of listeners, I thought it might be interesting for us to talk about some places where Bible Bedtime does not have listeners yet. The nation that I would like to discuss tonight is Greenland. Now, Greenland is technically part of North America, but it is not typically thought of along with North American continent. It is owned by Denmark, and it is part of the European Union. There are fewer than 60,000 people who live in Greenland, which is fewer people than live in my city. And as such, it is one of the least densely populated places in the world. And this is because most of Greenland is ice. Although there are several very lovely places that are not frozen and can be visited and lived in. As you think about it over the next few days, take a moment to think about Greenland and pray for its citizens. Pray for its leaders and its land and its wildlife. Now, it's time to settle down and think about going to sleep. No matter what you have accomplished today, no matter what you have left to accomplish, your day is over. There's nothing left for you to do. It can't wait until tomorrow when you've had a good night's sleep and you are well rested. I invite you to put away anything you're working on, anything you're scrolling on, anything you're holding in your hands. Turn off any distracting lights. Put yourself in that so comfortable position that you love to sleep in. Feel the surface you are lying on as it cradles your body. You don't have to hold any part of your body up for the next 8 hours. Gravity will do the work for you. All you have to do is relax and fall asleep. In each episode, I invite you to join me as we take 3 deep breaths. And as we take these breaths, there is a reason we do it. First of all, it establishes a habit. And when you develop a habit that you do daily, it allows your body and your brain to recognize what's happening and to automatically do the things that need to be done without a great deal of thought. Even if you can't think of anything right now, there are dozens of habits that you have every day that you don't even think about. By establishing the deep breathing habit, you are teaching yourself to relax and fall asleep. So let's take those 3 deep breaths. 1, 2, and 3. Excellent. Tonight, I am reading from Leviticus 8. The Lord said to Moses, "Bring Aaron and his sons, their garments, the anointing oil, the bull for the sin offering, the 2 rams, and the basket containing bread made without yeast, and gather the entire assembly at the entrance to the tent of meeting." Moses did as the Lord commanded, and the assembly gathered at the entrance to the tent of meeting. Moses said to the assembly, "This is what the Lord has commanded to be done." Then Moses brought Aaron and his sons forward and washed them with water. He put the tunic on Aaron, tied the sash around him, clothed him with a robe, and put the ephod on him. He also tied the ephod to him by its skillfully woven waistband, so it was fastened on him. He placed the breastpiece on him and put the Urim and Thummim in the breastpiece. Then he placed the turban on Aaron's head and set the gold plate, the sacred diadem, on the front of it, as the Lord commanded Moses. Then Moses took the anointing oil and anointed the tabernacle and everything in it, and so consecrated them. He sprinkled some of the oil on the altar 7 times, anointing the altar and all its utensils and the basin with its stand to consecrate them. He poured some of the anointing oil on Aaron's head and anointed him to consecrate him. Then he brought Aaron's sons forward, put tunics on them, tied sashes around them, and put headbands on them, as the Lord commanded Moses. He then presented the bull for the sin offering, and Aaron and his sons laid their hands on its head. Moses slaughtered the bull and took some of the blood, and with his finger he put it on all the horns of the altar to purify the altar. He poured out the rest of the blood at the base of the altar. So he consecrated it to make atonement for it. Moses also took all the fat around the inner parts, the covering of the liver and both kidneys and their fat, and burned it on the altar. But the bull with its hide and its flesh and its offal, he burned up outside the camp, as the Lord commanded Moses. He then presented the ram for the burnt offering, and Aaron and his sons laid their hands on its head. Then Moses slaughtered the ram and sprinkled the blood against the altar on all sides. He cut the ram into pieces and burned the head, the pieces, and the fat. He washed the inner parts and the legs with water and burned the whole ram on the altar as a burnt offering, a pleasing aroma, an offering made to the Lord by fire, as the Lord commanded Moses. He then presented the other ram, the ram for the ordination, and Aaron and his sons laid their hands on its head. Moses slaughtered the ram and took some of its blood and put it on the lobe of Aaron's right ear, on the thumb of his right hand, and on the big toe of his right foot. Moses also brought Aaron's sons forward and put some of the blood on the lobes of their right ears, on the thumbs of their right hands, and on the big toes of their right feet. Then he sprinkled blood against the altar on all sides. He took the fat tail, all the fat around the inner parts, the covering of the liver, both kidneys, and their fat, and the right thigh. Then, from the basket of bread made without yeast, which was before the Lord, he took a cake of bread, and one made with oil, and a wafer. He put these on the fat portions and on the right thigh. He put all these in the hands of Aaron and his sons and waved them before the Lord as a wave offering. Then Moses took them from their hands and burned them on the altar in top of the burnt offering as an ordination offering, a pleasing aroma, an offering made to the Lord by fire. He also took the breast, Moses' share of the ordination ram, and waved it before the Lord as a wave offering, as the Lord commanded Moses. Then Moses took some of the anointing oil and some of the blood from the altar and sprinkled them on Aaron and his garments and on his sons and their garments. So he consecrated Aaron and his garments and his sons and their garments. Moses then said to Aaron and his sons, "Cook the meat at the entrance to the tent of meeting and eat it there with the bread from the basket of ordination offerings, as I commanded," saying, "Aaron and his sons are to eat it. Then burn up the rest of the meat and the bread. Do not leave the entrance to the tent of meeting for 7 days, until the days of your ordination are completed. For your ordination will last 7 days. What has been done today was commanded by the Lord to make atonement for you. You must stay at the entrance to the tent of meeting day and night for 7 days, and do what the Lord requires, so you will not die. For that is what I have been commanded." So Aaron and his sons did everything the Lord commanded through Moses. Tonight I'll be reading Proverbs verses 1 through 6. My son, do not forget my teaching, but keep my commands in your heart, for they will prolong your life many years and bring you prosperity. Let love and faithfulness never leave you. Bind them around your neck. Write them on the tablet of your heart. Then you will win favor and a good name in the sight of God and man. Trust the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will make your paths straight. I'll finish tonight's reading with the Lord's Prayer. Our Father in heaven, hallowed be your name. Your kingdom come. Your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us today our daily bread. Forgive us our debts, as we also have forgiven our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from the evil one. Now it's time to go to sleep.